Hi, in this quick overview video, we'll take a look at how you can use Python and OpenCV to do some very basic computer vision detection, such as detection of faces, eyes, and if an individual is smiling, all in a quick video. So let's take a look at the code right now. So as a prerequisite, I'm assuming that you already have OpenCV installed. I'm not covering that as part of the video. I've covered installation in a previous video. So then you need to import OpenCV, and since we are going to be leveraging Haar cascade as a technique to detect these features, you need to download these resources from the GitHub page. So here, if I pop over to the GitHub page, you can see that there's quite a few resource files here. We wouldn't need all of that. You just need to download 3. That's the frontal face default, the eye, and the smile. And as you can see, we are only leveraging those 3 cascades. The next thing is to initialize the camera. So if you don't have a camera, you can still work with images within the while loop. I'll show you where you can place that, but it's much easier to see live and dynamic data. So try and wire it up to a camera. So initialize the camera. We'll see what's in the while loop in a bit, and then once you exit the while loop, let's do some housekeeping. Let's release the camera and clean up for OpenCV. So let's take a look at the while loop next. So in the while loop, what we are doing is we are getting the first frame of the camera. So again, if you don't have a camera, you can, instead of using the camera, just you can point it to an individual image, but again, working with the camera makes it much more easier, brings it to life. Then what we need to do is we need to convert that image to grayscale because the Haar cascade works best with grayscale images. So we are converting the existing color image that you receive into grayscale image. And then we'll run the Haar cascade for the face. And makes sense that once we detect a face, you then want to detect the other features like the eyes and the smile. So that's within the context of the face. So once we have detected faces, what we are doing is we are drawing a rectangle. In this particular case, it's a red rectangle. Again, keep in mind the color coding convention in OpenCV is blue, green, and red. So we are drawing a red box for faces, and again, since we would then want to detect eyes and smile within the rectangle that's been identified as a face. So next, let's grab the grayscale of the face. We also have the color of the face, which we are using for display purposes, but this is what we need to then, the grayscale is what we then need to get or detect the eyes and the smile. So using the face gray, let's use the eye and the smile cascade to then detect the eyes. And once it's detected eyes, let's draw that in a different color. In this particular case, that's blue. And finally, let's detect smiles. And if detected, let's draw that in a different color, and in this particular case, that's green. So once it's all done, we'll display the image with the rectangles. We'll wait for the escape key, and then finally release the objects. So let's see that in action. Alright, so I'm going to run the command. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I've already opened a Google page under images with faces. So let's actually see how it fares on the webcam. Okay, so this should hopefully give a live view perspective. So you may remember we've got 3 color codes, and you can see that this is very much like a live example as opposed to looking at individual images. We've got quite a few images to work with, so at a glance it gives us an idea in terms of the performance and the capabilities of using OpenCV with Haar cascade. So again, OpenCV and Haar cascade specifically isn't one of the newer machine learning libraries or the deep learning libraries that's seen advancements over the last few years. So it's I won't necessarily call it very primitive, but it's not very accurate. As you can see, it does a fairly good job. It's fairly simple, and it detects features relatively okay, but doesn't have a very high accuracy. So we can see, looking at different faces here, we can see how it's detected or the lack of. So obviously this is as an application or Haar cascade. The resource files were originally intended for profile faces, so not the side faces, but on occasions it does that. It's funny, you can actually see it's trying to detect faces or perceives faces in these icons. You get to see that is not very accurate, but still it's a good starting point when you're rolling up your sleeves and starting to work on computer vision based applications. So yeah, interesting to see how it fares for famous personalities. That's interesting. Okay, and in some cases these are either deformed faces or it's cartoon faces, but it seems to be doing a very average job at it. So that's a quick example again, and showing you a quick real-time view of how we can detect faces using Haar cascade. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.